Okay, I'm just going to carry on straight on. This is number 5 already. God, these are going quick, thick and fast now, aren't they? So, carrying on about phones. Yeah. So, yeah, it's horrible. You know, if you imagine if you bought something for £500 and then a year later it was worth £100, you would think that was a bad buy. Anyone would think. Surely everyone thinks that's a bad buy. Um, so why they do it? And I'd love to hear some comments about why people do it. I think one of the reasons people do it is they don't buy phones. They get contracts. So they buy their phones by HP, or I would say, and they get a phone for free. Yeah, always. Oh yeah, a free phone, or yeah, they don't get a free phone. They're paying for a phone every month, probably over a period of 2 years, and they're spending maybe 25, £30 a month for 2 years to buy a phone, and they get to use the phone for faking phone calls and that, and that's including the price, right? I don't buy phones like that, and my daughters don't either. My wife does have one like that, but that's her decision. But so I buy a phone from second-hand phone for £100 and a SIM card. And a SIM card, well, you can get a SIM card, a monthly pay-as-you-go SIM card. Well, no, not pay-as-you-go, monthly plan, a SIM-only deal for £5 a month. So you can work out what it would cost you over, say, 2 years. So you've got to do the 5, yeah. And then if you compare that to getting a contract where you get a nice new phone, you think, well, that's stupid. But people don't do the maths. They don't do the maths. They just go, it's over £20 a month. I can afford that. I'll get all £30 a month. I can afford that. I'll have a iPhone 6 or whatever it is. Then the problem is they break their phone, for example, and then they have to go and buy a new phone, or they've broken their phone and then suddenly they realise, God, I've broken it, and it's £600 to buy a new one. Bloody hell, I didn't realise they were so expensive. So they haven't even thought that because they hadn't realised the money, because they hadn't spent the money yet. So the minute they got that phone, they're locked in for 2 years to buy that phone, and they have to just keep paying that money. And it's like, it's what a weight around your neck, Um, so I'd hate, and imagine if you say you did say you got an Apple, whatever, the Apple X, I think is the expensive one, £1,000. You got one of those on contract. It'd be £50 a month. You'd be delighted with your new phone. No, you have it for a bit, and then you drop it on the floor and the screen breaks or something, and you think, well, it's all right, I can still. But you've got this thing that's cost £1,000. It's knackered, it's got a broken screen, it's rubbish, and you probably just have to live with it, how anyone would set themselves up to be in that position is, just for me, dreadful, So, so it's this thing about value and cost, and it's the sense that people aren't thinking about it. And maybe I'll talk a bit about house prices is another classic example of value and cost, right? Um, so the cost of houses compared to their value. So I'm in Scotland at the moment, right? And so you can look at, and I live in Oxford, right? So I'm in Scotland, and in Scotland houses are pretty cheap, right? And in Oxford they're bloody expensive, right? Now you got to think, well, what's the value? So you're thinking the cost is very different. Is the value different? Well, I don't know. It depends on what you want, I guess. But there's definitely, for me, a clear disconnect between the value of a house and the cost of it. Yeah. Based on the location. Okay. Now the location of it adds to the value of the house. But if you look in Scotland, right, our house in Oxford, I mean, it's a nice house. It's a detached bungalow. It's probably worth to buy it. If it went on the market, it would probably be about £500,000, say, which is quite a lot of money. It's a ridiculous amount of money. Stupid. Up in Scotland for £500,000, if you bought the best, what you consider the best house in Scotland, let's ignore not ignore the location, just what's the best house you can buy in Scotland for £500,000, and you can get a palace up here for that. It is ridiculous. You could have a lovely old house, maybe with 4 or 5 bedrooms, possibly a gym in it, lots of nice reception rooms, loads of acres of land, outbuildings, all this, but then you go to Oxford and you can buy a little, small little bungalow with a postage stamp garden. Now that doesn't seem right, does it? So something's gone wrong there, because you've got to pay all this money, but where's that? Who's getting that money you're paying? Because it's not to buy the house, it's not to build the house. The house is my house is costs less, and probably if I knocked my house flat and rebuilt it, probably costs £100,000. I don't know, let's say 200 grand to build it. The ones in Scotland probably cost much more than that to rebuild them, and probably impossible to rebuild them because they're sort of old-fashioned and nice, and they have lots of period features in them. So there's a massive disconnect, isn't there between the sort of value and cost. But that's because the value of houses is linked to too many other things, and one of those is the location. But you pay a lot of money for a location. Who owns the location of your house? Well, you think you own the bit of land that your house is on, but you don't own it really. You're kind of if the government decide they want to buy it, they can just come and buy it. Yeah, and they'll do a compulsory purchase, it's called, and they can just come and force you to sell your bit of land. So you don't own it, do you really? Because if you own something, no one can force you to sell it really. But it's not true like that with houses, which is quite scary when you think about it. All right, time's up again.